Hey guys, it's Larry Greenberg. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SGP Neo Hybrid EX series case for the iPhone 4. This case sells for $29.99. It comes in a ton of colors. Real quick, it comes in red, pink, blue, yellow, black, white, gunmetal, gold, and silver. I have the white version here, and I'm going to show you why I think this product is a great alternative to the Apple bumper. So for $29.99, what do you get? Let me open it and show you. First, you get the case itself, and it is a bumper style case. I'll show you that in a second. But in addition to the case, you get a nice little pack inside here that contains not only a ultra crystal front screen shield, but an SGP ultra crystal back screen shield as well, along with a microfiber cleaning cloth. Now, the Apple bumper doesn't come with anything other than the bumper itself, so you know right off the bat, I'm going to tell you this is a much better buy than the Apple bumper. Not only because you get the front and back screen shield, but when I get to the case in a second, you're going to see just how much better of a fit I think it is than the Apple bumper. So here's the case itself. Unlike the bumper, it's a two-piece bumper. You have an inner silicone band and then a somewhat flexible plastic outer ring. You have to be real careful when you install this outer ring. It's extremely thin, it is flexible, but these points down at the bottom by the dock connector are pretty thin and they will break if you're not too careful. Getting this on, it's not too difficult. First thing you do is put this outer band on, just like you do with any bumper style case, you know, the Apple one included. It's pretty tight, nice fit. Once you get it lined up, once you kind of have the sleep awake button in the proper spot, the volume buttons in the proper spot, then you proceed to put this outer band on. You do that by lining up the buttons first, sleep awake button and the volume buttons, as you can see. Then you go for this corner over here. As you're looking at the front, that's the right corner. And then you kind of pry it over the left corner. Once you get it in over the actual silicone layer, you want to just go around and make sure everything's lined up and it's all kind of seated properly. You should have an equal amount of the silicone band on both the front and back of the bumper. So what that does is give you a nice lay on the table design on both sides. So I've got it all set, I'm good to go, and now let's take a look at the case up close and personal. I do have a front screen shield and a back screen shield installed on my phone right now. Not the one that actually came with the product, but a different one, just because if you're going to use a bumper, I still think you need some kind of protection on the front and the back of your iPhone, you know, for scratches and whatnot. So once it's on, like I said, I think this fits way better than the Apple bumper. You know, it's tighter. It gives you a little bit more coverage than the bumper as well. Everything, ports and all, pretty similar to the Apple bumper. You can see there, it's the same small cutout for the 30-pin dock connector that the Apple bumper gives you, maybe a tad larger. I have the white Apple bumper here that we can compare it to. You know, similar in look, like I said, and I do think it's quite similar with a cutout. The one thing you'll notice is the SGP version, it doesn't have that little extra ring. You can see here the Apple bumper is almost two-tiered, has that extra layer in there, and that prevents certain third-party chargers from going in here. This SGP one does not have that, so you will be able to use some third-party chargers in the SGP version that you will not be able to use in the Apple version. So let me get that out of the way. You can see there are also individual cutouts for the main microphone and the speaker. On this side of the case, you can see that the volume buttons have these kind of silver, they're like kind of stickers or decals, but they're not, they're printed. That's probably my only knock on the case. They're a little bit cheap looking. You can tell that they're kind of printed on. My guess is that they may wear out over time, but it's not a huge knock. You know, I like that they're there, don't get me wrong. They're made to kind of look like the metal, and I think it's a nice touch. They give you good feedback when you press them. Again, this is the silicone sticking through that plastic layer. You have a nice size cutout for the vibrate switch. It's really easy to access it. On the top, you can see that there is a large cutout for the headset jack and then a small cutout for the secondary microphone. The sleep awake button has that similar, you know, printing on it just like the volume buttons do. And again, that's the silicone and it gives you really nice feedback when you press it. Of course, the back, totally exposed, 100% see-through. No issues with the flash, obviously, because there's no cutout. Again, I do have a screen shield protecting, the back of my phone. I definitely suggest if you're using a bumper that you use some kind of screen shield or skin on the back of your iPhone. You can see that you get lay on the table design not only in the back and the front as well, because this bumper does come up over onto the edge of the glass. No issues with any sort of bubbling on either the front or back screen shield. Again, I think this is a great bumper. I prefer it 100% over the Apple bumper, not only because you get a front and back screen shield with it, but I think it just fits better. It's a much tighter fit. You saw when I went to put it on, it's definitely harder to get on than the Apple bumper, and that's a good thing because it means it's going to fit better. My Apple bumper, I'm kind of constantly having to kind of squeeze it to flex it and to get it seated properly. Don't have to do that at all with this case. It's just a nice fit. SGP has done it again, in my opinion. If you're using a bumper or you want to use a bumper with your iPhone 4, you definitely want to grab a hold of the Neo Hybrid EX case from SGP, $29.99. Link in the video description. If you have any questions about this case or anything else, feel free to drop me a line. Otherwise, you have a great day.